Hello. This is Editor Steve. Just want to give two heads up before you listen to this podcast. So, first off, this is the season finale of season 4. Can't believe we've made it this far. So, after each season, I usually take a bit of a break. I want to move quickly and get everything done, as I've mentioned a lot on this podcast. So, I'm only going to take a week off. So, no Baki Taki next week, but I'll be coming back after with the final season. Baki Taki, the final season. At least until there's new Baki out, which I think could honestly take a while. But the more important thing is this episode's going to sound a bit different, and it's because of two things. One, my mic died. The cable that I used to plug it in at least died. Maybe the mic itself did. I'm recording this on a new mic that I've got. Hopefully it sounds nice, and this is what it'll sound like going forward. So we almost weren't able to do the record. Luckily, Blaire brought her own microphone with her, and we were able to use that. So big thank you to Blaire, and if it wasn't for that, we would have no episode. However, it is going to sound a bit different. The big difference I've found is that this mic is smart, and it doesn't like when we laugh. So there's a lot of moments where I'll say something, or anybody will say something quite funny, and then an awkward pause will settle over. And it's too bad, because if you were there, you'd know. You have to take my word for it that it was just huge laughs and applause, and we're all having a ball. But it actually, listening back to it, sounds pretty tense. So I'm actually going to be inserting some laugh tracks, and hopefully that'll get the point across. Anyway, big thanks to Blaire for bringing the mic, and hopefully this all works out.
Hello, and welcome back to Baki Taki, Season 4, Episode 13, The Unwritten Rule of the Fight. And with me, I have a lot of people. We're going to go around and hear their names. Who's that to the left?
My name's Greg. I'm a good friend of Steve's, and I've been on once before. It was great.
And we're going to skip the next two, I guess.
It's Max and Matt here, providing the laughs and maybe some commentary.
And we've
Also a friend of Steve's.
And to the far right, we've got...
I'm Blaire. That's all I have to say.
I'm Serena. Same.
I'm Alex, friend of Steve's.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Never been on before.
Which is my favorite. So, Alex, I have two questions I ask everybody on their first ever episode.
Okay.
So, just to get the viewers a chance to get to know you.
Yes.
So, other than Baki, what shows have you currently been watching or recently?
I'm in a reality phase. I just finished Real Housewives of New York from start to finish. Loving Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And Survivor.
Nice.
Yes, that's all.
Do you think it'd be good if Survivor had a season with all housewives, like real housewives?
Oh. It would get out of hand.
They'd have to fly some people home.
I'd love to be able to vote each other out.
I like it. All right, and the second question is, before you watched this episode, what did you know about Baki?
Well, I've listened to Blaire and Serena's episode. Sorry to everyone. So I knew he was a fighter.
Yep.
And I remembered the Muhammad Ali of it all. But that's it. That's about it. I didn't know how much muscles are in.
It's tough to describe over audio in a way that I think captures how much muscle there is.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's jump in. So this is the season 4 finale. Baki is finishing his fight with Pickle. And do you guys know why he's named Pickle?
No.
That was my first question.
Do you want to guess? Because there are some context clues.
Okay. Is it because everybody who fights him finds themselves in a pickle?
That's pretty good, but no.
Okay.
Is it because he gets eaten like a pickle?
I like that.
Was he suspended in a liquid?
He was suspended in a salt pit deposit,
Yes.
just like a salted pickle. Look at that. This show, you think it doesn't make sense. Then you're just not thinking hard enough.
Yeah, the clarity came to me.
So yes, so Pickle starts the episode. He seems to be entering into some sort of transformation. But before that, two things I want to talk about. First, he has some sort of scar that we learn. And secondly, Retsu is inexplicably telling us about this from a home video recording. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts.
No idea what was going on, but he's been recording for an hour.
75 minutes. The scar thing I thought was like Opus Dei, like Da Vinci Code. I thought he had like a the tightening chain thing like Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Was it?
that was
not.
That was a character inspiration for Pickle. Paul Bettany.
Let the record show that I wanted to edit a clip here of Tokugawa saying, "Why is he crying?" and then cut to Paul Bettany whipping himself from the Da Vinci Code. However, the audio of that scene is a bit confusing, so I couldn't.
Just the muscles, just the weird back muscles that no one actually has.
That was like I love like when they were zooming in on the scars, and I was so confused as to like I thought maybe they were gonna burst even more open, and then they're like, no, they've been here for forever, and it's like, so why does it kind of seem like at any point they could just go like boom and it was but I was glad to know that it was from some sort of dinosaur. I do believe they did give the species that I'm.
I think it was the T-Rex.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Matching scars on his front and back. There is only one thing it could mean. From their shape, their size, their age. They hadn't been made by a knife, but by teeth. Pickle was a man who had survived the jaws of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It was.
So is the idea that he got like chomped on
Just
both
chomped.
sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
okay.
so funny. It went.
I like
Chomp.
that they did.
Not all the way through, just like a grazing.
They did say it's on both sides.
Yeah. That's what the 75 minutes of recording was. With you going Triceratops? No.
It wouldn't have been as sexy if it was on just one side.
Sure.
They had to know it was like he was bitten all over and they're throbbing.
Oh yeah.
It's also so weird that like it's tough to tell because you've only watched one episode, but Pickle's been shirtless the entire season, and those scars were not there until he started flexing, and then they showed up. So I don't know, a little mystery for the Baki-Taki crew to decipher.
Yeah.
So then we get into the meat of the fight. It's Baki versus Pickle. Pickle, of course, bigger, stronger, faster. But Baki has a little thing called the martial arts on his side.
You see, we've learned a few things since your time. Things like the martial arts. I'll put what I've got against what you've got any day.
What do you think? Do you think that makes sense that a small Japanese boy who knows martial arts can beat a giant 6'6" caveman?
6'6".
Yeah.
It's a tall 6'6". She's in every inch of that 6'6".
Yeah.
It's like in the NBA when they measure them, they wear their shoes. Pickle steps in a hole.
Yeah, exactly. He steps into the fucking salt mine. Sergeant's wearing.
I don't know. Everybody assumes that this podcast can't have swears.
Don't listen to my podcast.
This is ruining.
Punched in the face every time you swear after the podcast.
It teaches us a great lesson that Baki is so confident in this, because he really gives that whole speech about how he is going to defeat, and you're looking at them and you're going, no, don't try this, because that is a big man, and you, although big, are not wearing a little thong. And the Pickle looks like if you take multiple parts of chicken wings and sew them together into one big chicken wing. And Baki is a little boy. He's got a little face. I don't think I was like, good luck. I'm glad you're confident. I don't believe that you're going to beat this ginormous man. Yeah.
I don't know if moves. The whole thing of moves was like, it was interesting. Like,
I
they're all talking about moves, and it's just.
How can I even fight you? What do I have to work with? My moves.
I don't know. When I hear something like that, I'm like, did they talk about moves for 4 seasons? And everyone knows what moves are, or his moves like an established.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't show the moon.
I mean,
They're like, it's
like,
so
on a-
fast that
Yeah.
it's lightning.
Yeah.
One of the worst aspects of this season is I don't know if it was budget wise, but you're right. They very rarely show the moves they're referring to. Baki had a move earlier in the season where he pretended to be a T-Rex, and he did it so convincingly that Pickle thought that Baki had bit his arm like a T-Rex.
Question
Uh-huh.
immediately.
Yeah.
From what?
How many times has Pickle fought Baki?
It's once,
yeah.
but it's been going on for 4 episodes. So this is the
The
climax.
same fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering if it always just starts right in the fight.
Like
There.
75% of the time.
Okay, yeah.
I
No.
think maybe the show is about manifestation. Because Baki's obviously just delusional.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I'm sorry. I wanted my opinion to be changed about Baki, but unfortunately,
You
I
just
still
described it.
hate her.
I
It's
know,
like
I
it's like
agree.
I'm like when he's talking, I'm like, you gonna be likable yet? But he's not. He's just like, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
But
fair. Likeable is not out. Like he's smarmy. Like the whole episode. Like,
for no reason.
Yeah.
So then maybe I do have some respect for that.
Or
Like,
just commitment to the bit.
It's 100%. I don't know how I'm feeling about Baki right now.
I'm kind of into boxing.
No, I feel everything about Baki. Everything.
oh, man.
You're bossy.
In a way, I'm Baki, you're Baki. We are all Baki.
No, I'm the tall one.
If you look around and everyone else is Baki, you're a Pickle.
In a room of boxers, I was
But as much as we don't seem to believe it, Baki has great results, and even though most of the fight is still frames with a camera vibrating,
Yeah.
You kind of see their muscles going.
yes,
Swear they put them.
A lot of feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not drawing any conclusions from that, but just
Let that linger.
well, it's the listeners might not know how much feet.
I'll put a count up.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Need that.
Audio podcast. That count will go up.
There are 7 feet.
You guys,
Your feet break.
it's gonna get lost when I convert to MP3, but it's gonna be very worth it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Man, just as an aside, completely unrelated to the episode, I have Adobe Premiere Rush, which is like the cheap version of editing. They don't allow exporting to MP3. Every time I do this podcast, I have to export to MP4 and then find a website that says MP4 to MP3.com.
Oh, I love those websites.
I love them too, but like, why do I have to do that?
Free.
Can
they be free?
They've stolen it and they have their own podcast, Baki Taki Pro version that they just upload. And they own the rights to it. I actually don't own the rights anymore. All right, so the fight continues, and we get to the point where Baki is actually dominating the fight, and Pickle is on the back foot, and of course Baki decides, let's turn it into a test of stamina. Why do you think he did that?
Well, now I know they've been fighting for 4 episodes.
I would say it already has been a test
Yeah.
of my stamina for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny when I've been talking all season about how I don't like this fight, but when I rewatched it for the podcast, I actually really liked it, and I think it's just the fact that when I first watched it, I had to watch like 2 hours of Baki and Pickle fighting each other. But if I watch 20 minutes every week, it's a much more enjoyable way
With a
to
group of
watch it.
friends.
Yes.
Yes,
Does he
that's also.
does he have like a history of fighting on stamina? Like, why did he?
Yeah.
When he was so close to winning, tell me. You know, I've only seen 1 episode. It didn't look like it made any sense. Why would Baki do that?
I think, well, it's like in the previous season up against Biscuit Oliva, the strongest man in America, Baki was also beating him and then decided to just start punching him to show that he's stronger. It does seem like a habit that he has. I don't know why. I think it's just so that, like,
Is Baki too cocky?
I think Baki's
Baki
too
cocky,
cocky.
yeah.
I think I'm going with Blaire. I liked Baki in my episode, but now I'm being converted over. Why do you have to do the stamina thing? It's fine.
It's like the classic, like, you know, the villain monologue before you deliver the crushing
Oh
blow,
my
and
gosh,
you leave. You know, it's like, is he the villain in that case? You know.
Now, do you think it would have been better in your episode if when Muhammad Ali tried to steal his girlfriend, if he challenged him to a match of stamina to keep Joseph?
Wait, wait.
Muhammad should be so lucky. What that's supposed with?
Those
She's
way
up there.
fans. She's coming back in season.
Stand up. We must rise. James, girl.
All right. Yeah, of course, it ends like you think. Pickle's able to defeat Baki. However,
I think it was gonna end that way.
you didn't think you thought Baki would win.
Yeah, well, we're watching these shows.
No, but Pickle's able to win. However, he does so by having to use a move. Now, Retsu and Hanayama discuss this afterwards, and Retsu says that Pickle has won because, he is still standing, he is physically fine. Hanayama says Baki has won because Pickle is bigger and stronger and had to resort to the cheap trick of a move. Let's just take a vote around the table. Who do you think won? I'll be the tiebreaker.
Well,
Alex. Serena, you
Well,
could jump ahead, I
no,
guess.
no,
Okay.
no.
I want to say Baki because I'm like, he ultimately did win the fight. If he hadn't have done that stupid thing,
Yeah.
he would have won. But also, that's part of it. So, I'm saying Pickle.
I have to go Team Pickle for the
Okay.
same reasons.
I would say Pickle, but I would have also loved it if the praying mantis came out with an SMG and just destroyed Baki. I would love to.
Okay, you can't
No one
write
has
it.
No, I have to agree with Pickle because if you're winning and then you decide to lose, you've lost. And to lose, you've lost. Oh, we're part of this now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
We need the numbers for that.
I agree with Alex. I think he has this Marty McFly weakness, which is basically he has to prove that he can beat people easily,
yeah.
and so you lose, you snooze, you lose to the Pickle.
We're Team Pickle. Pickle.
Soon to be featured on the PP.
The
Pickle
podcast.
Yeah.
I guess, does Pickle know he's used a move? Like, is Pickle making?
He can't speak language, but he does understand that he has actions
Right.
in the world.
He's
But it's
having
like-
fun and being himself.
Yeah. Because Pickle was really sending it, and Baki just walked away at the last minute, and I can't stand that. It's like people that slow up in the last 10 minutes of a race, and they start showboating, and then somebody beats him to it. I got nothing but time for Pickle, because Pickle kept his head down over the line,
He grinded.
Pickle won.
Yeah.
All right, six votes unanimous. Pickle up for the tiebreaker, and
On points.
Who would you say?
Yeah. Oh no, it's Baki.
Well,
I don't.
Baki favorite.
I'll abstain. I don't think it's clear who won. I think as Tokugawa said, they were both right and they were both harsh.
I say that one too.
Retsu, who lives by martial arts, and Hanayama, who lives by masculinity. You are both right, and you are both harsh.
Change it.
I take my vote to Tokugawa.
He won for being
He's
nice to me.
Wow. So that's the end of the fight, and that's sort of the end. Well, not quite the end of Pickle yet. We get a little bit more. First, we get a very fun little scene where Baki was supposed to go to the hospital. His doctor was, I guess, going to euthanize him. So Baki had left the hospital, and the doctor, so dejected, just dropped the syringe on the ground, shattering it to glass.
That was the best animation.
Yeah. They don't pay that person.
Because the doctor was promised either way he was going to euthanize someone that night, and he got cheated out of both.
Everyone left.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. There's not a time.
Not what I signed up for.
But it turned out that Baki had gone to comfort his friend Pickle on the roof of some building in Japan, as they reminisce about the past. Anybody tear up?
Well, because they also saw each other's past at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a baby on the screen.
Once Baki knew his own
yeah.
past, he saw Pickle's past.
Yes.
And there was a very cute baby.
There's a baby person.
The
And
cutest
a
baby
bunch
I've
of
ever
dinosaurs and then a baby.
At least show.
Finally showed up.
Mantis was there.
Mantis
Thank
was
God.
there.
Yeah.
But the scene on the roof was reminiscent of To Live and Die in LA. I personally think so, like the very beginning scene. So I'm actually excited to see what's coming next.
Well, they do go. Well, Retsu goes to Las Vegas, so not quite
Close
LA.
enough.
Pretty
but-
close,
yeah.
actually. One state over.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
pretty
but
close.
different.
Is the sphere featured?
Yeah.
That's one of Pickle's eyeballs. Just one.
It's only 6.
Oh, remember he reached into the
that
dinosaur's
was so
eyeballs and like
scary.
all of it gushed. That was awesome.
That was the second best animation of the entire.
Yeah,
the
it's
dropping
after the
the
syringe.
child.
The syringe.
Yeah, the syringe.
Well,
and
speaking
then-
of the best animation, I guess we got to move on to the best voice acting
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
introduction.
Barak.
I think because he did a deal with Netflix. I think they actually got Obama
He had
to
a
voice.
deal with
I don't think that was
Definitely.
him.
But he does like an impression of himself.
Yeah.
So
Well, allow me to get straight to the point then. Ever since the time of my predecessor, Ronald Reagan, every single U.S. president has signed a formal treaty of friendship with the man known as the Ogre or Yujiro Hanma.
do you think any of the cast of Aki were striking?
Can't get into this right now.
I'd love to look at that.
Imagine if they all got together on the picket line.
Aki.
That's just for you, Steve.
Pickle.
It's a pickle time. That's it.
It's got to be 4 people.
Oh no,
It's got to be.
man!
Aki, we won't talk.
Man, if they ever referenced this, there was one guy, the guy who voices Retsu used to be on Cameo, and I keep trying to get him to, I keep looking, because he has a line where he says, Baki's back, he's back, and I want to use that as audio again to say, Baki Taki's back, and I come back from my Yeah, no, anyway, we'll see.
What was Obama doing there?
Yeah.
So,
That's not the same.
Sorry,
Oz,
Oz.
Barack.
Just change the B for the S because then it's Osama.
Yes, and then you
Yes.
get into your own thing.
And it's a different guy.
And then it's a commentary.
As opposed to this, which is.
Just
He screamed sounds like Yo Mama. Like that.
Yo, Barack, yo, mom.
We're sitting here discussing, like, what are the politics of naming a character Barack Hussein Yo Mom? No,
How does he actually pronounce it? Sorry.
Ozma,
Osma.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
No, you are right. You are right.
So, so Baki, of course, has been going on for almost 30 years or something. And this point of the story would have been just around the transition to the Obama administration. Fun fact, last season we had a lot of George Bosch, and from what I've heard,
Wait, George H.W. Bush or George W. Bush?
we've had this talk a lot. It's just W. Bosch.
Okay.
But in future ones, and I don't exactly know why, Trump and Hillary will both show up eventually in the manga,
No.
or Trump or Hillary.
Hillary.
Serena.
Didn't he say straight up Ronald Reagan though?
Yeah.
So if you look in the subtitles, it is Ronald Reegan.
I was
Close.
hoping Reagan was canon.
You wouldn't mind out of
He's like, all right, give him.
It's like, give me a credit.
Like Bucky beat up Nancy Reagan in the second episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an actor.
True.
He wants the credit for it.
And he was in the strike.
Have you seen all
Oh,
of them?
I'm sure.
So I have seen all of Baki. I love the show too much to read the manga and spoil myself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of it that I have purposely avoided. I know most of what happens, but I try and keep the details fuzzy.
I think that's okay.
I respect
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a hero.
Much
Brave.
like
Brave. Yeah.
Like Ozma.
That's like me and Garfield.
Maybe we cannot turn this into Garfield.
She loves them,
Yeah.
but
But the films cannot read the comic.
That's so wrong there. I can't believe it.
Back to back.
I just want to say, I think the reason Bucky was back to health so fast is because of Osmacare. Like it really.
He lives in Japan.
Confirmed.
Yes, yeah. It's Tokyo. But Yujiro does fly to America for this meeting. So
who was that?
that is Baki's dad. And
Oh.
he's the strongest man in the world.
Stronger than Pickle?
Cut the black.
They didn't fight, but it's implied that, he has the martial arts skill to beat Pickle.
Right, and he would never do a fool's move.
So Yujiro, it's implied that with every president since Ronald Reagan, they have to swear an oath of friendship with Yujiro because he has canonically defeated the U.S. military.
You're not safe.
Yeah.
Cussing.
Better call Joe.
Or
I wonder if Biden has shown up yet.
Yeah, I hope so.
Um,
Because U.S. is seeming a little more dangerous right now.
At least his dog is.
So it's a pretty fun conversation, a spot-on impression of Barack Obama.
He cut that glass tabletop in half, just as if he were using a diamond. Oh, damn.
But after he declares friendship, like his hand on his chest, he inexplicably brings a lump of coal out and asks Yujiro, "Can you turn this into a diamond?" Yujiro then says, "What? Like, no." And then in one of my favorite shots of the episode, so he instead uses his knuckle as a diamond, cuts the glass table, and then we get a still shot of, yes, he can.
Yeah.
with teacups.
Well, do you remember Obama's slogan?
Yes. I forgot. I did forget for a moment. I thought it was like we're trying something a little new. I guess they were in a way.
They were.
Having
How often do we get titles on screen? That felt very.
That's the only time I've ever seen.
That's incredible.
It made me so jarred by it.
It was jarring.
Yeah.
More of that.
He can.
You want more of that?
I liked it. I thought it was smooth.
It was like old time. It was like a
surrealism.
silent movie. You know, it's like yes, you could like white on black. You know.
So he crushed
Me
it
too.
and made a diamond, and then was just doing like.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's what I thought. Did
Yeah.
he grab it? Or
Yeah,
no?
he
Did
grabbed
grab
it and then
it.
just used his
It's just
knuckle.
And then he kept the diamond for later.
Because he said it won't be worth as much. I remember him saying that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is like, is that a commentary on
What does
like
that
the-
mean?
how
I guess-
fake the diamond market is or something?
Yujiro does not want us to get rid of the coal industry.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
says we need coal, clean coal. That or the broken
We
cable.
see the miners.
Yeah.
Like, big
Or
with
glass.
the miners.
Every time you make me do this,
That's what the whole season's about. If there were no miners, they wouldn't have found Pickle.
Yeah.
This is pro miners. Yes. Margaret Thatcher. Okay. This is the best show.
So this does transition us into the last beat of the episode. What to do about Pickle?
Yes, put him in
because
the
he
salt.
robbed a bank,
Like,
Pickle did a lot of things. It wasn't.
sitting on a vault.
Oh, they tried to seal him in that vault. He broke it.
He robbed a bank.
Pickle's main crimes are cannibalism. He eats people that he beats in a fight, and other stuff. But
Violent naturally.
yeah, we're not gonna. Anyway, so Pickle is basically the UN decides that we're gonna do a big vote in like a proto Brexit type of scenario. So the two options are take this man and put him back in the salt, which implies that we have the technology to shove people in salt, or not do that.
Let him
it's-
live amongst us.
Yeah. Would anybody vote to put him back in the salt?
yes, absolutely. He's 6'6".
It's very tight.
So like,
It's almost 80 inches tall. We gotta log that down.
if he is too powerful, I'd put him in the salt. Sorry,
Wow.
guys.
I think he's too sexy to put back in the salt. But also, do pickles usually get like what would happen
Salt
to him?
brine.
Yeah, but
Oh, if we-
twice? Like, do pickles ever get like taken out of the salt and then
No.
repickled?
It
What
sounds-
would happen to him? I need to know.
It sounds like something you pay extra for, honestly. Double brined pickle.
Yeah.
Like,
It does. So when he comes back,
He's twice as strong.
would he?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Double brine.
yeah, exactly.
I think we should let him live amongst us.
Couldn't agree more.
He's a cannibal.
Yeah, but that's not eating the pickle for the sake of eating them. It's actually just recycling. Like it's like he's using the body that he.
Don't try and fight him and he won't eat.
100%.
Okay, I'd like
You have
you
nothing
to
to hide.
fight that
That's true.
freaking nature.
he only fights creatures. He only eats creatures he beats in a fight.
Steve, we literally watched an episode where a guy pissed in an alleyway and he ate him.
Oh no!
It's like
He
he's
did.
on-
Valid.
No.
Honestly,
He just
He
grabbed,
grabbed his penis,
pulled him into the
pulled him
garbage.
into the garbage,
Implied.
and
We saw the
like,
stream, but
and killed him.
he most likely killed him Or I think he just pulled him into the garbage, stripped him, and stole his clothes. I don't think he ate him.
Conspiracy theory now.
Because he only eats things that he sees as like a true challenge. And this dude.
What else does he?
From the garbage.
You think he's leaving me alive?
So that's a great question. The only things he ate are a dinosaur that was also frozen in salt with him, and a rare Siberian tiger that they fed to him because they had tried every other animal and he wouldn't fight it.
Wow.
And they were going to keep throwing this endangered species until he ate them all.
Did the whole world vote on that, or
No, they only did that.
that was government?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say that having the whole world vote on something is so cool.
If anything, that's what we
And
should.
they made it
Like
look
if-
so easy.
When we went to school, we had eye clickers, right? Like
Yes.
quizzes.
Yeah.
If everybody in the world
HQ
had an eye clicker,
quiz.
yeah, HQ. That is probably
Yeah.
the stat that they use. They probably use.
Yeah.
So we put him in the salt, or he lives amongst us and wears Gucci Supreme sweaters. It's a close one. I would say.
There could be a third option that we're not considering.
Mhm.
I don't have one, but I
Oh.
just
You think the voting machine be tampered with?
No.
I think it
Put him in the salt.
maybe even like some rehabilitation for Pickle.
Okay,
Like not
Blaire.
just like
Hey, I agree with that too.
I am just going to put out there, to break out of the bank vault. I don't know if we can easily.
Also, he doesn't speak English, so I think.
Alex immediately voted. This guy doesn't speak English.
Salt. Very cool salt.
I would give it with the rest of Japan.
I know the third option. Duolingo. That's the third option.
I don't think they have Pickle the English.
Okay, we need to
Alright.
calm this down.
Oh no, it's good. I'm sure the mic picked that stuff.
That's the only part we got. Us screaming about weapons.
It's just a silent audio and then just
It's amazing how wrong we were. Like, this was the word. I'm sure you could tell, but the mic, it was so overwhelmed with how loud we were that it picked up none of any of that.
So it's more or less the end of the episode. You get a little scene where Pickle he breaks out because obviously he's not going to go back in. Also, the vote was 1 billion people, and it was within 1,000 people, the margin of error, which was pretty cool.
So,
Incredible. But yeah,
Every vote counts.
if you're in line, they have to let you vote. Whether they're Pickle in the song. So Pickle is Pickle doesn't care about he doesn't even know the word for democracy. Pickle doesn't even know what a vertical line is. But he gives a gift to Gary Stridham, who was the general who took him to Japan to fight a bunch of weirdos. And then he leaves Gary Stridham and Albert Einstein and goes off into the jungles of Tokyo. And that's the end of the season, and mostly the end of Pickle's arc. He'll be back a little bit of support.
What about Einstein?
That, I think, is the end of Einstein, or Professor Payne, as the show calls him. I don't know why. So that's the end of the episode. And so the question is, I'll give Alex a unique question, which is, do you think that Baki's a good show? And everybody else gets the question, do you think Baki is getting better as it's gone on? Alex.
It's not for me, but I can appreciate artistry for sure. And you know what? It had me. When Obama showed up, I was like, okay, they.
I do think Baki is getting better. I 100% enjoyed my episode, and I enjoyed this episode a lot too. I do think random characters they keep on introducing is keeping my love for this show alive. Never in my life did I think I'd see Einstein and Obama share the screen together, but I am so glad. Was it Obama? We'll never know. There's no way to know.
No
But I really enjoyed the ride. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks.
The show is fine. I'm respecting the choices that they're making more.
Yeah.
I think Jax Taylor would really love this show. And that's all I have to say about that. You can look him up later.
Oh, editor Steve can add a comment to that.
Hey, editor Steve here. Apparently this guy is from Vanderpump Rules, and I watched this one clip of him, which I don't think paints him in a very flattering light.
It has to be upright position. So they're like, you can sit back and coach, or we have to turn the flight around. Well, I'm like, I have to go home and take care of my child today. You have to turn the flight back then.
Hold on. The flight was turned around because you wouldn't go back to sit and coach?
Because I wanted to sleep.
Bach is getting better, but I wish it was like it feels self-aware because you can't have humanity vote and Obama ask a man to crush a diamond. And it feel like that's a serious plot line in the episode. But I don't know. It is getting better. It's just so you can't make this shit up. It's incredible.
Do you think Obama asked the world, "Hey, should I ask?"
Yeah,
should I ask to crush this?
Obama had a Twitter poll clearly where he's like, "Oh, 5 billion votes, 500 million votes, and only 1,000. I
Well,
crushed
isn't
the
his
diamond."
or not his podcast, his playlist recommendation. By the way, what do you think about Pickle?
This is my Spotify. It's Diamond by Rihanna on
Max?
I mean, right when you think this show is in a corner, they come up and they have all these fighting styles: Chinese Kempo, karate, Muhammad Ali. They come out with caveman fighting style, and it's just beautiful. And my only complaint is there's no urine in this episode. You usually spoil me with a man peeing.
So last episode, Baki did mark the arena by peeing in 8 different spots. Yeah.
Steve, I'm the urine episode guy.
More piss.
There was a lot this season.
Go piss,
More piss.
girl.
I think in terms of cultural relevance, Baki is the closest thing we have to the Masked Singer. In terms of the people that can show up on a weekly basis. Masked Singer's getting Wayne Brady if they're lucky,
Tom Sandoval.
or Tom Sandoval, whoever that is, and Baki is getting Barak
Editor's note.
Hussein Osma.
Quick editor look. Tom Sandoval, also Vanderpump Rules.
Whenever they want.
Yeah, but they're not getting
Pulling-
No One Holds the Door on Native New York.
Wendy Williams.
Baki's never been better. Long live Baki.
All right, and I'll say that I think Baki is just probably reaching its peak here. I think it's gonna plateau. I think it's gonna the final fight. I think is a lot of fun, and we're almost there, and a lot of boxing in Vegas as well.
Are they still making this show?
This is probably the end. The manga goes on. They have years of material, but there's nothing confirmed that Netflix is going to keep doing this. And this is sort of a logical break. Technically, Baki Hanma, the manga, has ended when this next season comes out, and then it moves on to Baki Do, and then Baki Do 2, and then Baki Rahen.
Do crossover.
Baki Do Monsters Unleashed. Yeah. I don't speak Japanese, so I could be pronouncing it wrong, but I want Baki Do and Baki Do 2019 or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think those are even I don't even think do is a Japanese word though. Anyway, so Lindsay, did you want to add anything? Perfect. All right, that's all the Baki we've got to talkie. Probably gonna take a week off and see you all 2 weeks from now.
PP.
Hey, I'm not done yet. This episode was actually recorded before we got any fan questions, but there's one while I'm editing. So the question is, who do I think would be a good companion for Pickle? I thought about this for a little bit, and I think that I would choose Kaiokaku. First of all, I think that Kaku and Pickle, I don't think Pickle has a high chance of killing Kaku. I think that his Shaori would be nigh unbeatable to a guy who just likes hitting people with his fists. But I also just think that they're both old people. You got a bit of an opposites attract vibe with the little tiny 150-year-old man and the Hulk. And I think they'd have fun together. Anyway.